when it all happened, I was filming away. So, there was, I'm like the rock of the family, especially when it comes to, times where it's like family is really needed, and now I think I'm back.
I don't mean to be the super big brother dad, but this is nuts. I might record the whole ride. I might run out of storage. Oh, you need that. What'd you forget?
My license.
And what do you need to drive?
I'm like the proud mother. Yes, do you see my smile? Jeez.
Yes, we see that beautiful smile. Model Kim Porter stepped out in Los Angeles on Monday night to support her son, Quincy Brown, who is the star of Jamal Hill's new film, Brotherly Love.
It looks like Quincy Brown, Kim Porter's son, is making some major moves behind the scenes to protect his younger sisters, Jessie and Delilah. Amid Diddy's ongoing legal troubles, rumor has it that Quincy has been quietly working with authorities, shedding light on what really went down in that household. You see, Diddy liked to play the father figure to Quincy, without actually making it official through adoption. Allegedly, he even used Quincy as a pawn to get revenge on Kim's ex, Albie Sure. If that wasn't enough drama, Jaguar Wright recently threw some serious accusations into the mix, suggesting that Diddy would regularly threaten Albie Sure by using Quincy as leverage.
Standing, and now Albie Sure he's being cryptic. Not too cryptic, but he's very cryptic. He's very cryptic, but
he's speaking louder than he's ever spoken before.
Ever.
And the reason why he's cryptic is for the sake of his son. Imagine having an enemy that has a position of influence in your child's life and knowing that that person sends you notes and messages every now and then. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, that boy is.
Now, after the recent raids on Diddy's properties, Albie Sure publicly spoke out, urging Quincy to come back home. While Diddy has reportedly used every trick in the book to sway Quincy's allegiance, it seems Quincy's loyalty has always leaned toward his biological roots. However, it hasn't been easy to navigate this situation, especially because he felt responsible for his sisters after their mother died now. Here's the latest buzz. There's talk swirling around that Quincy might be in witness protection, and he's allegedly lending a helping hand to investigators digging into the suspicious circumstances surrounding Kim Porter's untimely death.
And Quincy's missing.
Quincy's missing. Oh. And lastly,
after he was questioned by the feds.
After.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was in witness protection right now.
For years, whispers have circulated suggesting that Diddy had a hand in Kim's demise. The speculation goes that Kim held too many of his skeletons in her closet and was gearing up to spill all the tea in a tell-all book. Albie Sure even went so far as to label Kim's passing as murder on social media, right before he himself was struck down by a mysterious illness and spent months in a coma fighting for his life. Now, Quincy has always kept silent on these rumors about his mom's passing, but word on the street is that he bided his time, knowing he couldn't publicly go against Diddy until the moment was right. Well, it seems like that moment may have finally arrived, with Quincy potentially stepping into the
when your mom passed, how did that affect you, man? And were you ever able to get over that? Or how do you even move on after something like that happens?
You don't.
Okay.
You don't move on. It still hurt. It still is like a constant learning process on like how to deal with it, but.
So, I'm sure you've all seen the dramatic footage of Diddy's mansions getting raided and his sons, Christian and Justin, getting cuffed by the beds while Diddy himself was nowhere in sight. But here's the kicker. Rumors are swirling that Diddy had prior knowledge of the raid and left his sons to face the cameras while he allegedly attempted to make a quick getaway, only to be intercepted by the feds at a Miami airport. But hold on a second. What about Quincy Brown, the young man Diddy always claimed as his own? Where was he during all this chaos? Well, word on the street is that Quincy was already in cahoots with the feds before Diddy got wind of the raid. He allegedly made sure to keep a low profile and whisk his two younger sisters, Jessie and Delilah, out of harm's way long before the feds swooped in. Now, before we dive deep into Quincy's alleged plan to help the feds bring Diddy down, let's rewind a bit and fill you in on the backstory of how Quincy ended up under Diddy's wing instead of with his biological father. I'll be sure Kim Porter's early life. Quincy's late mom, Kimberly Porter, was born on December 15, 1970, in Columbus, Georgia. After graduating high school, she moved to Atlanta to pursue her dreams of becoming an actress and model. Kim quickly caught the attention of modeling agencies and started working as a commercial model, appearing in several music videos like Heavy D and the Boys' Nothing But Loves and Big Daddy Kane's Smooth Operator. Around this time, Kim met Uptown Records founder Andre Harrell, who offered her a job as a receptionist at Uptown. This is when Kim crossed paths with singer-songwriter Al B. Sure. Al began his music career singing background vocals on Heavy D and the Boys songs, thanks to his childhood friendship with group member Edward "Eddie F." Farrell. That connection paved the way for Al to meet Andre Harrell, who welcomed him into the Uptown Records family.
Yeah, his mom was my first love, right? When I brought her here from Columbus, Georgia to New York, and we made an amazing, amazing young man.
It seems like you're asking for an image of a party or a description related to it. Could you clarify if you're requesting an image or a description of a party scene?
Numbers and likes, that's not what I do. But what's funny, I posted something the other day.
Yeah.
Talking about my ex-wife. Yeah, I said it, my ex-wife. Kimberly. Nobody knew, because we didn't discuss being married. We didn't discuss it. But I was just giving her like every so often I give a tribute.
Kim and AL's fairy tale came crashing down when Kim had the misfortune of meeting Diddy. Diddy was working as an A&R executive at Uptown Records when Andre Harrell hired Kim as a receptionist, and Diddy became completely obsessed with her. Diddy told Essence in 2006 that the first time he saw Kim was at the studio with Al B. Sure. However, Diddy claimed he didn't start making moves on Kim right away. He said, "I wasn't trying to holler at her or anything, but I was admiring her. Her lips, her eyes, her mouth, her shape, her energy, and thinking, I wish I had a girl like that." Basically, Diddy was insanely jealous of Al B. Sure having someone like Kim on his arm, and you already know Diddy has never been told no in his life, so he allegedly started scheming and plotting on how to take Kim from Al. Diddy's jealousy, even before he saw Kim with Al, was fueled by the fact that there was a lot of talk about Diddy being jealous of Al B. Sure's musical talent. Al B. Sure had written and produced some certified classics for the likes of Jodeci, Tevin Campbell, and, of course, himself. Diddy, on the other hand, took credit for a lot of songs he neither wrote nor produced, and he was always jealous of Al. There were even stories of Diddy blocking opportunities for Al, especially in New York. So, when Diddy saw that on top of being a more talented musician than himself, Al B. Sure also had his dream girl, he just couldn't help himself and pulled out all the stops to get between Al and Kim. Kim kept turning down Diddy's advances, but he was relentless, so she finally decided to give him a chance. By this point, Kim and Al had already separated, and in 1994, Kim and Diddy went public with their romance.
He was with every chick, every dude, whoever he wanted to be with, when Kim was alive, praying with them, doing whatever he had to do.
This marked the beginning of Kim and Diddy's toxic, on-again, off-again relationship that went on for 13 years. Kim tried to leave Diddy multiple times, but he apparently made her life a living hell every time she would even think about dating someone else. In fact, there's this long-standing conspiracy that Diddy played a part in the death of music executive Shakir Stewart, who briefly dated Kim while she and Diddy were broken up. Diddy allegedly had Kim's broken nose followed, and he even wiretapped her phone. So, when he found out she was seeing Shakir, he hit the roof and confronted her about this. The argument escalated quickly, and Kim reportedly ended up with a broken nose. Most of the reports about this incident have been scrubbed from the internet. However, there's an article published back in 2005 that describes the altercation and states that Kim was left with a broken nose after the couple argued on Call's yacht in Saint-Tropez. The article also claims that Diddy flew in a specialist plastic surgeon from Geneva after the accident, and that Kim has since claimed she hurt her face after banging her nose on a table. However, Kim reportedly continued seeing Shakir despite Diddy's threats. So, Diddy decided to take things up a notch and went crazy on Shakir. One source told Media Takeout that Kim was seeing Shakir, and Diddy found out. He went ape, tracked Shakir down to his hotel, then went up there without security and beat him to a bloody pulp. But it gets even more disturbing from here. On November 1st, 2008, Shakir was found dead at his Atlanta home with a gunshot wound. His death was ruled as self-inflicted. However, it didn't take long before rumors started flying around that Kim spilled some of Diddy's secrets to Shakir and that Diddy had a hand in orchestrating Shakir's demise. But that wasn't enough for Diddy. He allegedly also started plotting how to separate Kim's son, Quincy, from his father, I'll be sure, because he knew Kim still loved Al.
He had motherfuckers think that he had...
While Diddy was playing the role of Father of the Year in public, he was treating Kim like dirt behind the scenes, putting his hands on her, cheating on her left and right, allegedly with both women and men. And he even fathered another secret child with his longtime associate, Sarah Chapman. Sarah gave birth to Diddy's daughter, Chance, in 2006, and shortly after, Kim finally left Diddy for good. However, less than a year later, tragedy struck when news broke that Kim's lifeless body was found in her home following a short bout of pneumonia. On the morning of November 15th, 2018, Kim was discovered unconscious in her bed by a family member, and by the time the paramedics arrived, it was sadly too late. Kim was pronounced dead at just 47 years old. After the autopsy was completed, the LA County Medical Examiner's coroner concluded that Kim died from lobar pneumonia and that the manner of death was natural. However, the timeline leading to this tragedy is suspicious, to say the least. Reports surfaced that Kim started complaining of a sore throat on November 7th, and by November 12th, she developed a fever. However, she tested negative for both influenza and strep and received treatment with antibiotics, vitamins, and pain relief medication. According to her family, by November 14th, she felt perfectly fine, and her temperature was back to normal. The coroner's report also stated that Kim had no documented history of substance or alcohol use, nor any underlying medical conditions. In fact, she seemed to be in perfect health. I'll be sure also later confirmed this, revealing that he saw Kim shortly before her passing, and she looked great and didn't complain of any health problems. But that's not all. Al said in July 2020, he dropped a bombshell on social media by referring to Kim's death as murder. Al posted a throwback video of himself crying and wrote, "I just found this footage from the morning I learned of Kim Porter's murder and how it ripped the soul from my physical body." He then added, "I do know very clearly that Kimberly didn't just check out all of a sudden over pneumonia. That's some BS. This is where I get in trouble." We just celebrated our son Quincy's new deal and Christmas special with Netflix, and she was in fantastic health. Al also added the hashtag don't let the love songs fool you, seemingly alluding to Diddy's tributes to K.I.M. Al later deleted this post and claimed his son Quincy had reached out and told him the message was triggering. However, Al doubled down on his comment about Kim's passing being suspicious and said he stands firm in his belief that Kim's death just doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, rumors started flying around that it wasn't Quincy, but Diddy, who called Al and told him to take down that post. Allegedly, Diddy threatened Al by reminding him that Quincy lives under his roof and that something bad could happen to him at any time. However, Al refused to stay silent, and in November 2021, he posted a throwback photo with Kim and Quincy with the caption, "She sent me this saying life imitating art, art imitating life." Now it all makes sense. She told me other stuff too. She was running. I said, "Call the FBI." Al also added in the comments, "You would never believe what she went through." Now, the fact that Al immediately told her to call the FBI and not the police is a huge red flag, and it sounds like whatever Kim had confided to Al about her life with Diddy, it was something huge. But get this, just months after he shared this post, Al was hospitalized after suffering a mysterious medical emergency. He later said he collapsed suddenly while working in the studio, and the doctors were completely confused because they couldn't figure out how he had so many things wrong with him at the same time. Al spent 2 months in a coma and later revealed he underwent various medical procedures, including an organ transplant, multiple blood transfusions, intubation, and being placed on a ventilator. He also shared that he had accumulated excessive fluid in his lungs, fungal pneumonia, became septic, and had lymph nodes removed, obviously.
We're going to be producing the Albie Shore life story. So hold on to your britches, and you'll really understand how I ended up in a coma. You're really going to need to call Homeland Security.
Now, as for Quincy, we're now hearing that he's been allegedly making quiet moves behind the scenes to get himself and his two sisters away from Diddy. He allegedly asked Kim Porter's friend, Cameron Simmons, to take in Jesse and Delilah shortly before the feds raided Diddy's houses. Word on the street is that Quincy has already started cooperating with the feds in exchange for protection for his sisters. There are also rumors floating around that Quincy will try and get the feds to reopen Kim Porter's case because the official narrative of his mom's passing never made sense to him now, before all this drama with Diddy exploded with Cassie's lawsuit. Quincy played his part well and didn't let anyone know that he allegedly had this secret animosity towards Diddy. Every time he was asked about Diddy, Quincy would give props for giving him a good life, and this had a lot of people fooled into thinking that Diddy took Quincy under his wing out of the goodness of his heart, while A.L.B. Sure neglected him. However, according to Jaguar Wright, neither Quincy nor A.L.B. had any choice but to play along with this narrative because Diddy would allegedly send reminders to A.L.B. that he could hurt Quincy and even have him killed whenever he wanted.
And Quincy's missing.
Quincy's missing. Oh. And lastly,
after he was questioned by the feds.
After.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was in witness protection right now. Which means his father ain't never gonna see him again.
Have we seen the last, or is this just the beginning of that saga?
It's just getting started.
As for fans, they're praising Quincy and saying he truly turned out to be his mother's son. A lot of folks are also speculating that Quincy only stuck around Diddy because he was scared for his sister, and they're hoping this situation will lead to Kim Porter's death being reinvestigated. Quincy has good intuition. I never believed he liked Diddy, just tolerated him. That young man has stuck around to protect his sisters. He's solid and played his cards right. Smart dude. Quincy, your mother would be so proud of you for stepping up for the girls, being the mom they need, and God bless your journey if it gets to that point. Your mother is your guiding angel. But let's hear your thoughts on Quincy and his alleged plan to bring down Diddy. Do you think Quincy only stuck around Diddy to protect his sisters? Drop your comments below, and don't miss out on this next story. This version includes proper commas, periods, apostrophes, and other punctuation for clarity and flow.